Going to start written in the sky. Enable 18 plus content. Oh, absolutely. Yes, we want to do that. 10 minutes. Just 10 more minutes. I eyed the clock anxiously, awaiting the moment every student in the classroom yearned for. Just another 10 minutes and I'll be free of this prison. A handful of other students followed my example, watching every second tick by as we waited until the end of another school day. Time seemed to slow down the closer we got. Our teacher's voice became more tired and drawn out, and every moment became agony until at last... "Alright, class, that's it for today." Proving to be as unmotivated as the rest of us, our teacher concluded the lesson with time to spare. "Early mark, heck yeah!" "Please take down whatever notes you need for the..." Tons of dots. "Azure, what are you doing?" Before the teacher could finish speaking, I had stuffed my belongings into my school bag and jumped up from my seat. "Oh, sorry. Goodbye, Sensei." That was rude of me. How could I leave the classroom without saying goodbye to our teacher? Azure, that's not what I... Before Sensei could lecture me, I dashed out of the classroom with the kind of grace and elegance one would expect from an 18-year-old high school girl. Really now, trying to chain me to that boring classroom. What kind of life is that? Life is for living! I'll study when I'm dead. I skipped gleefully down the hallway, ignoring Sensei's aggravated shouts, and headed straight for the front entrance. As disheartening as it may sound, this is pretty much a normal day at school for me. Pay as little attention as possible, sneak out of class at every opportunity, then leave the second our teacher puts his chalk down. For someone serious about their studies, such a lifestyle would seem blasphemous. Conversely, anybody interested in club activities or spending time with their friends would consider it a waste. But not me. My only regret is that I can't leave class any sooner, or not attend it to begin with. Because the truth is, I can't fucking stand this place. Oh gosh. Ah, what a day. I was asleep in class more often than I was awake, and I'm pretty sure I didn't learn a thing. Papa would be pissed if he knew. How King Cold would be mad if he knew. After returning home from school, I buried my head in my pillow, immediately reflecting on my actions. Though I had no problem leaving class early, or skipping class, my father was another matter altogether. I shuddered at the thought of what my father might do if the school rang him. Having an ace detective for a father isn't as much fun as everyone thinks. He has an innate ability to sense when I'm hiding something from him, and his interrogations are never by the book. I'm not an expert in legal studies, but I'm pretty sure tickling me into submission is a violation of the Geneva Convention. As I sighed deeply over my own fate, I glanced around the room for some way to kill the time before my father returned. Unfortunately, unlike most girls my age, I don't have any interest in fashion or TV dramas, even boys, or even considered girly. Worse, as easy as life would be if I was a tomboy, I have no interest in sports or video games either. The only recreational activity I ever indulge in is the detective training my father has mandated since I was a little girl. Really, Papa? This is all your fault. What kind of father teaches his only daughter about useless junk like that? Even if I did want to be a detective, he could at least waited until I was about out of diapers. If only Mama was still here to keep him in line. My mother left us when I was still a toddler, shot by someone with a grudge against my father. Her parents, my grandparents, offered to take me in, but my father stubbornly refused, insisting that he would take care of me. Unfortunately, his fatherly duty ended there. Always occupied by work, he left me at home alone on a daily basis, leaving me more or less to fend for myself. The only time we ever spent together was his mandatory detective training, or when I got in trouble at school. Needless to say, the latter became a habit. It's not that I have a problem with learning. If the subject is interesting, then I'm happy to pay full attention. But every day it's the same boring, useless junk. Really, the way things are going, I'd be better off. I shook my head as negative thoughts began to cloud my mind. Living such an uneventful life, I often found myself thinking things I shouldn't. I contemplated leaving home, quitting school, or just doing something terrible so Papa would have no choice but to watch over me. Even though I knew such things were bad, with a life as meaningless as mine, I had no reason not to think that way. After all, what is the point in living a life without meaning? An early mark from school, and how do I use it? I really need some excitement in my life. Well, Zarbon's good for that. Get yourself a Zarbon, you'll like it. Very, very much so, I can promise that. As darkness began to fall over the city, a solitary figure stalked the night. They walked up and down the street looking for an artifact long forgotten. A valuable artifact of enormous value exceeded only by its power. But no matter how long they searched, the artifact eluded them. Not here either. I know it's around here somewhere. Many years had been spent tracking the valuable item down, but only now was the search reaching its conclusion. After so many hunters reached their demise seeking the relic, only its true owner, the one person unable to use it, had proven capable. After so many years of searching, praying that nobody would beat me to it, I shall once again take possession of that which is rightfully mine. Tonight, I shall take to the stars once more. Ooh, I like her. As another day drearily passed me by, I found myself pacing around the house, waiting for my father's imminent return. I wasn't in a hurry to see him. In fact, if possible, I hoped to spend the night without facing his incessant questioning. But a part of me craved the interaction. Any FaceTime with my father might offer, and I knew I'd have to face the music sooner or later. Jeez. Must have been through this countless times, but facing Papa still makes me nervous. I guess there's a reason he's so good at his job. Playing nice cop won't always cut it. As I mauled those carefree thoughts, I could hear the sound of a key unlocking the front door. "Welcome back, Papa!" Whole bunches of dots. Faced with my enthusiastic greeting, my father only stared at me silently. He placed his coat and suitcase on the kitchen table, loosened his tie, and let out a weary sigh. "Hard day at work?" "When is it not?" My father turned to face me. His voice sounded relaxed, but knowing my father, it was merely the calm before the storm. "Of course, it would be easier if I didn't keep fielding phone calls from your school. Honestly, you snuck out of class again? What have I told you about disrespecting your teachers, huh?" In a split second, he jumped from a relaxed tone to interrogator mode. Hey, it's not like that." "Oh? Then what is it like?" "Class was already over. The bell had just about rung." "Yeah? Well, you can't just go to your room and think about what you've done." "Papa!" "Now!" Without putting up a fight, I headed straight to my room and slumped down to my bed. I had no desire to further enrage my father, and I knew that the longer we spoke, the more information he would extract from me. So if my sentence was to be a night cooped up in my room, then I'd consider it a light punishment. Not that it really matters. I already ate dinner before Papa came home, and I have nothing interesting to do anyway. Whether I'm in my bedroom, the living room, or the kitchen, it doesn't change the fact that I'm bored out of my mind. The only upside to being sent to my room is I know how to sneak out. Having escaped from my room, I quickly left earshot of my house. I headed down the street, going to the opposite direction of my school, and aimlessly strolled through the night. Whew, much better. I hate being cooped up in that house, almost as much as I hate being stuck in that stupid school. It's different if I have something to pass the time, like a good book to read or a new crime documentary to watch. But the other 99% of the time, sleep is the only thing I look forward to. While silently complaining to myself, I'd lost track of how far and how long I had been walking. I crossed countless roads, all unfamiliar to me, and wound up in a part of town I'd never visited before. Oh no, this can't be happening. I got lost in my thoughts and forgot where I was going. Worse, I didn't bring my mobile phone, so I can't even call Papa for help. Actually, that might be part for the best. If I rang Papa now, I'd only be scolded for leaving class early, but also for sneaking out of the house, and worst of all, for getting lost. Because according to Papa, a good detective is always mindful of the surroundings, so getting lost is... that's it! As the training my father put me through bubbled to the surface, I combed through my short-term memory, mapping out a path back home. I worked backwards through every intersection, every park, every vacant lot along the way. I never thought that extensive resume my father put me through would ever come in handy. I thought it was all just useless information, completely bereft of any particular application, but now, in my hour of need, I wish I'd paid more attention. I tried my best to recall the path I took, but I was deep in thought at the time. I hadn't paid attention in the slightest. This is bad. I'm just getting myself more and more lost. I've probably crossed over into another city by now. If I don't find a payphone or someone to even ask directions, then... Just as I began to feel desperate, a shadowy figure emerged before me. I couldn't see their face due to the darkness, and how far away they were, but nonetheless, I had found someone. Finally, I'm saved! Hey! As soon as I called out, the shadowy figure ran in the opposite direction. Oh, no, you don't! I chased after the mysterious person, paying no heed to the circumstances surrounding us. Even if it seemed dangerous, shouting to a complete stranger in the middle of the night, I truly needed their help. I don't care if they think I'm a rapist or an axe murderer or whatever. The sun will start to come up soon. I need to find my way home ASAP. When chasing after the figure didn't work, I decided to take a more stealthy approach. Using my father's detective training, once again, I stalked my target, keeping my distance and waiting in the shadows. And surely enough, after not catching a glimpse of me for a while, the figure let their guard down. Whew. That was close. My target breathed a sigh of relief, but moments later they appeared to be overcome by wonder. Wait a second. This is... They moved towards the platform in the middle of the warehouse we had wandered into. Though conspicuous and obviously suspicious, the platform had a certain allure, like it was holding a sacred treasure. It is. I finally found it! I need to call HQ immediately! Without wasting a moment, the figure ran aside, either excited or desperate after the interesting find. That's a fuckload of dots. Now this. This is quite the bind. I know I should chase after them. I should find my way home before Father realizes I'm missing, but... Despite knowing better, I walked straight up to the platform. Sitting on the platform was a box. A small, square, black box with strange characters all over it. Whoa, what language is this? It looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. I picked up the box in one hand, then opened it with the other. And inside I found... a ring. Inside was a ring engraved with characters similar to those on the box itself. A gold ring, big enough to fit on the finger of a fully grown man, yet slim and smooth enough to fit on a woman that might wear it. Huh? That's kind of a letdown. The ring is obviously too big for me, and even if it wasn't, I'm not really into jewelry. That's a lot of fucking dots again. Then again, it would be a waste not to try it on. Despite the obvious difference in size between my finger and the ring, I slipped it onto my left ring finger. Hey, Azor-chan gets to be a bride after all! I wonder if Papa will buy me a wedding present. As those carefree thoughts floated through my mind, I remembered something important. Oh, Papa, I completely forgot about finding my way back home. Finally getting my priorities straight, I began to pull the ring off my finger. As much fun as this has been, I really need to get home already. However, as soon as I touched the ring with my other hand... Ugh! What the heck? Oh! This is bad. This is really, really bad. I only wanted to try it on, but now I'm a thief. I looked down at the ring finger, and the glowing ring adorning it. How is it that the ring fits me perfectly? I don't remember having such chubby fingers. The light, too. Why did it have to flash like that? Oh, I'm so confused. Despite my complicated feelings and muddled thoughts, I kept running. This has got to be a dream. Nothing this bizarre, fucking words. Nothing this bizarre could happen in real life. When I wake up tomorrow morning, everything will be back to normal. Oh gosh, I got so into character, I actually got flustered there. Left alone in a warehouse devoid of human life, a single being strolled through the darkness. Tracing their fingers along a box wrapped in alien writings, they breathed a sigh of relief and frustration. Ah, to think that a human would lay their hands on the ring before I did. And a young girl at that. I was so close, and yet... The being suddenly clenched their fist and smashed the alien box to pieces. All of that time and effort. All of those lives lost. I can't afford to let that ring fall into the wrong hands now. If that human girl refuses to hand over the ring, then I will have to take care of her personally. After a long night patrolling the city and an even longer morning trying to find my way back home, I finally took refuge in the warmth of my own bed. How the fuck did we get there, everyone? I have no goddamn clue, but we made it. Nigga, we made it! The song, like the hip-hop song that I'm quoting. Oh god, you know it. Google it, YouTube it, whatever. I slipped off my shoes, removed my glasses, let my sexy, beautiful flowing hair down, and finally... Go figure, the alarm went off. You've got to be kidding me. Granted a reprieve from the monotony of my usual daily life, I dragged my heels even more than usual as I walked to school. Lethargy is by no means a feeling I rarely exhibit. In fact, not a day goes by where I don't feel that way while walking to school. But on this morning, the source of my dismay was anything but normal. A weird ring on my finger which randomly starts glowing, my father getting angry at me for leaving class early, a night with zero sleep after wandering around town all night, and to top it off, I have this strange feeling that I'm being watched. I looked down at the ring on my finger, curious to see if the pattern thus far held true. Surely enough, as it had done all morning, every time I felt like I was being watched, the ring started to glow. Finding out that I have fat fingers was one thing, but this random glowing could be problematic. Sensei's definitely going to notice, and worse, it's on my ring finger. If he goes Papa, then... Despite my melancholy, I quickly turned around as I felt the odd sensation once more. This is getting really weird. Is sleep deprivation causing my mind to play tricks on me? I didn't want to consider it, but maybe I should skip class and take a nap. Papa won't like it, assuming he finds out, but I'll only get in more trouble if I fall asleep in class. Besides, this level of paranoia cannot be healthy. As Azor completed the final leg of her morning journey, her stalker emerged from the shadows. So close, and yet I still can't get my hands on it. But I'll have plenty of opportunities from here on out. Once the human girl goes to that child containment center they call school, she won't be able to escape. And once I get my hands on that ring, this universe will never be the same again. After wandering around the school a while, I eventually located an empty classroom. It appeared to be a classroom reserved for club activities of some sort, or perhaps simply due for cleaning, as the desks has all been removed. Whatever the case, I would soon put the empty space to good use. Now this is more like it. Resting on the floor, lapping up the sun rays, I kind of feel like a cat. From a bride to a cat. A bride wearing cat's ears instead of a wedding veil, drinking milk instead of champagne. That sounds much better to me. Yes, meow, I do, meow. Now take me back home, meow. I need to cough up a fur ball. This is fucking ridiculous. But I sounded horrible saying it, and you know it. Once I actually heard myself say that aloud, which I just did because I just said it, a furious blush came over my face. Already done. That was definitely the sleep deprivation talking. Without further delay, bright red from ear to ear, I removed my glasses and put my head onto the ground. As I lay in the warm sun, not at all deterred from the hard surface beneath me, I slept both long and well. My fatigue from last night vanished without a trace, replaced by the energy and enthusiasm I so desperately needed. Man, I needed that. There's nothing a good night's rest can't cure, or a good day's rest in this case. I should do this more often. Filled with such carefree thoughts, I slowly adjusted to the light surrounding me. But no sooner had I done so than reality hit me. Oh no! How long was I asleep? It's already starting to get dark outside. I must have slept the whole day away! This is bad. I can't believe it's already dark outside. Just how late is it? Oh, it's not that late. It just looks that way because my spaceship is blocking out most of the sun's rays. I see. That explains it. Your spaceship? What the heck are you talking about? I'm talking about my spaceship. That's what humans call them, right? I'm not getting the terminology wrong, am I? No. I suppose you... Wait a second. I put on my glasses, which I had taken off before sleeping, and looked at the person in front of me with far more clarity. This woman, she seems familiar. Have we met before? You don't look like a student, and I don't think I've ever had you as a teacher. The stranger looked at me skeptically, as though doubting my inability to remember her. Earthling, we met only last night. Is the memory of a human girl truly so awful? I had heard that the fish of gold would forget every few seconds, but I believed primates to enjoy a more fortuitous memory capacity. If I have been misinformed, then I must correct our records post-haste. Records, by the way, sorry about that. Huh? What the heck is this woman talking about? Did she escape from a mental asylum, thinking she was still in high school? Anyway, forget about that. I'm here to make you an offer. An offer? From a crazy person? I don't think so. But if I reject her outright, she might get violent, so I can at least play along. That's right, Earthling. Though whatever the fuck that says is very important to me, and I must have it back at any cost. Unfortunately, you seem to have already whatever the fuck that says with it, so I've been put into a difficult situation. The what? Oh, I'm sorry, my humanese isn't perfect yet. Humanese. I suppose a rough translation of that artifact around your finger would be the Ring of Binding. Now that you've already bonded with it, my role here has become rather complicated. Even after the woman in front of me finished explaining, I still didn't understand. Sorry, but I don't get it. Ring of Binding, it's bonded with me. What does that mean? And who the heck calls this language humanese? Just who are you exactly? Oh, now that you mention it, it seems I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Sienna, and I'm the Queen of Mars. The Queen of Mars? Yes! Have you heard of me? No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I'm familiar with Mars, but... You are! You, a mere Earthling, are aware of the situation on Mars. I truly misjudged you. It seems you're more capable than I thought. You pesky foreigner! Hey, what did you call me? A pesky foreigner. That is the term for someone of a different birth planet, correct? That is what Earthlings have been calling me ever since I arrived here. I'm no longer sure if this woman is crazy, or just stupid. Anyway, enough of that. What were you saying about an offer? Oh, that's right. How forgetful of me. The reason I came to you this day was to ask you for your finger. You want my finger? Precisely. Wait, where are you going? Anywhere but here! After running the entire way home, I arrived in record time. Despite leaving later than usual, I ran quickly, taking every shortcut I knew, and intermittently checked behind me for my insane pursuer. I knew no good could come from this stupid ring. Why did I have to try to be on the crazy lady's jewelry? I didn't even like that stuff. I tried to calm down as I entered my house. Despite the insanity awaiting me when I woke up, I still felt fairly refreshed after sleeping for so long, so it wasn't difficult to restore my mood. Forget about the crazy lady, she's gone now, and I'm sure the police will capture her sooner or later. Besides, at this point in time, I have bigger things to worry about. I peered into the living room, immediately setting my sights on my father. Albeit rare for him to return home before me, it did happen from time to time. He's just standing there, not moving an inch. He must be waiting for me. I sighed heavily, already disheartened by the conversation which no doubt awaited me. Oh well. Let's get this over with. Good afternoon, Papa. Boy, you sure got home early today. Did you get off early because you worked so hard lately? Or maybe you just couldn't wait to see your darling daughter, Oh, he's really mad. When my father's truly furious, he doesn't yell or scream. He becomes dead quiet and wanders around like a ghost, ready to snap at any minute. Well, I guess I'll get started on dinner then. I started to walk towards the kitchen, desperate to escape my father's fury. Don't bother with my portion, I already ate. That's okay, just dinner for two then. Oh, no problem. Emerging from behind my father was Sienna, the crazy lady I tried so hard to escape from. How did you? When did you? I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you're saying. Is that an idiom? I took a deep breath and tried again. How did you get here before me? And why are you here? Oh, I see. You're wondering how I arrived before you, even though you left first. I'm sorry to say this, but your athletic ability is no match for mine. My transporter, if you will. It converts most forms of matter into light, then... Forget about that! Why are you here? Oh, yes, your second question. My apologies. I didn't mean to alarm you, but as you suddenly ran away during our earlier conversation, I thought it might be more convenient for you if we continue talking here. I stared at Sienna blankly, unable to see any hint of malice or deceit. If she knows both where I live and what schools I attend, then escaping from Sienna by normal means may be impossible. But if I had the help of an ace detective on my side... I turned to face my father, who was still unmoving. As I walked in front of him, however, I noticed that something was amiss. My father continued to open his mouth widely, breathe in deeply, then close his mouth and exhale through his nose. His eyes remained wide open, unblinking, as though he was shocked by something directly in front of him. What's wrong? Oh, right, the birth-giver's counterpart responsible for your creation. Do not worry, I will return him to normal once we are finished here. Return him to normal? What have you done to my father? Do not fret, child, he's unharmed. I simply wrapped his consciousness up with that of a fish of gold. I looked towards the fish tank in our living room. You swapped his brains with the brain of a goldfish? Swapped the brains? No, don't be silly. I simply swapped his consciousness with that of the fish. Is there a difference? Of course there is. All I've done is temporarily move your father's thoughts into the brain of the goldfish and vice versa. This way we can talk freely and your father will forget everything he hears. But that's amazing! You flatter me, Earthling. But our technology is much more advanced than yours. I don't know if we'll ever manage to transfer an entire living creature into waves capable of being replicated. But Sienna looks toward the television as she spoke. She thinks that people she's seen on TV are moving around as formless signals. Her technology may be amazing, but this woman is clueless about Earth. Anyway, about your finger. Uh-oh. I thought that if I could run away, I could at least rely on my father to protect me. But in his current state, Papa's just... There has to be some way out of this. Maybe she doesn't want my finger after all. Maybe Sienna got the word wrong. I have to make sure. Miss Sienna? Just call me Sienna. Okay then, Sienna. Why do you want my finger exactly? What possibility could you have use for of a human finger? That's a silly question. You humans came up with a ritual requiring the finger after all. Like hell we did! I don't care what barbaric civilizations this woman has visited before. Around here we don't chop off fingers. Am I mistaken? For humans, the bonding ritual requires a ring, a finger, and 2 humanoid entities, correct? So the protocol is to ask the other entity's finger, yes? The human bonding ritual? Wait a minute, she couldn't mean... Are you talking about... marriage? Yes, that's it! Or as Earthlings call it, marriage. So that's it. Oh, I was really worried there for a minute. I thought Sienna wanted to cut off my finger like in some bizarre cult ritual. But she really wanted to ask for my hand, not my finger. You want to marry me? Yes, marriage. We must become one. But why? Why would you want to marry me? We've only just met. Isn't this too sudden? Besides, we're 2 different species. Why would you suddenly propose to me? I proposed. You're mistaken, Earthling. You're the one who proposed to me. I did? No, I think I would remember doing that. What are you saying? The proof of your proposal is right there. Sienna pointed to the ring on my finger. That ring rightfully belongs to the King of Mars. As the ruling queen, the one who wears that ring is destined to become my husband. You put on that ring and bound itself to you. That is proof that you are the fit to be my other. Her other? The ruling queen and her husband, the king? Wait a minute, how could we even get married? I'm a girl, I can't possibly become a king. Now, although the closest translation I could think of for is king, my partner needn't be male or even Martian for that matter. The ring has chosen you, and that's what matters. Unbelievable. A grown woman is proposing to me because a ring told her to? What's more, she doesn't seem to care that we're both girls. No, wait, that isn't the problem here. There's no way I could go along with something this ridiculous. 2 days ago, we never even met. Now she wants me to be the king of Mars? But what about air and food? Even if I went with you, I wouldn't survive a day on Mars, would I? Don't underestimate yourself. The king of Mars, as chosen by the ring, is far more capable than you think. As one wearing the ring, such trifling matters won't affect you in the least. I put on a ring, and just like that, I'm already the king of Mars. This is too much. Are you really that opposed to marrying me? I can't force you to bond against your will. No, it's not that, it's just... Why do you even want to bond with me? Can't you just forget about all of this? I wish it were that simple. Many Earth centuries ago, we Martians were at war with the Mercurians, residents of Mercury. We fought for countless years, decimating all visible life on both of our planets and forcing one another into our spaceships. But as the war dragged on, both sides harbored an increasing desire for peace, desperate to return and to rebuild our once beautiful planets. It was then that we reached a truth. A ceasefire agreement bound by a sacred ritual. The kind of Mercury married the Queen of Mars, and the two were bound together by a powerful relic, a ring forged from rare metals and imbued with untold power. For many years, neither race bore any ill will towards the other. The original reason for the war was long forgotten, and we all lived in peace together. It was a wonderful, decadent period of time, one we all wished would last forever. But even then, there remained some who craved the war. A few militants reared their heads now and then, seeking to disrupt the peace we had all worked so hard to attain. And one day, following the assassination of the King of Mercury, they succeeded. They stole his ring and launched it into the cosmos, desperate to prevent another bonding from ever occurring. Worse, as per their plan, mistrust over the assassination broke out, and our races faced off against one another once more. So you see, that is why I need that ring. If I do not bond with the wearer of that ring, it's only a matter of time before our planets become war and barren wastelands once more. I listened closely to Sienna's story, absorbing as much information as I could retain. I found it hard to believe that the ring on my finger, so ordinary in appearance, size, and weight, could be so important. Even so, as Sienna finished talking, one question bothered me more than any other. But why me? The ritual was just a gesture, right? Isn't that the important part, that the one you marry is from Mercury? No, that is incorrect. I apologize for using misleading terminology, but marriage is the closest thing you humans have to a bonding ritual. You see, unlike marriage, whatever that says, fucking fuck my life, I have no idea, causes both parties to undergo a change. Two entities from an unbreakable bond, one which binds their very lives together, such that the death of one would mean the death of the other. In return for the life bond, one party increases their strength proportionally to the binding relic. If I, the Queen, were to attain the power of this ring, I could unite Mars and Mercury forevermore. Sienna spoke of enough power to rule 2 planets, but even then she didn't appear to be happy in the slightest. The happy, naive, forceful woman I had met only yesterday was gone, replaced by a reluctant ruler. Poor Sienna. I never would have imagined she had it so tough. Either she gets married to whoever the ring chooses for her, or her home planet descends into war. If I were in her shoes, I don't know what I'd do. So, it doesn't matter if your partner isn't from Mercury. Not at all. As the offsprings of the late Queen and King, I am half Martian, half Mercurian. My very existence is enough to unite both planets. All I need now is power. The power of the ring. This ring. This ring I selfishly, unknowingly bound to my body. If it weren't for my curiosity, Sienna would have nothing to worry about. She'd have the ring free to choose her own path, and I'd be none the wiser. But now, I understand that this is a big decision. It's not an act to be taken lightly. Nonetheless, I must ask that you expedite your decision. I will give you 1 Earth day to consider my proposal. And I think that seems like a good enough place to stop than ever, everyone! I've had a very fun time with all of you. How can I save? Oh, right there. Save. Yes. Right there.